to be seen as the person representing the region as the district teacher of the year, it's really, it feels like a real honor, and I'm just really appreciative. When I was doing the essays and stuff, I didn't want it to just be my voice, but I thought of like the voice of my students, and so I feel like in a way their stories are what made this recognition possible for me. It wasn't just my own story, but both of our stories kind of coming together. When I went to college, I did psychology, and I was kind of like unsure of what I wanted to do, and I took more of like a sales job. And after about 4 years of that, the money was okay, and I made friends and things like that, but I kind of felt like this emptiness, like it was hollow. And I really wanted to do something that I felt like I'm spending so much time at work every day. I was working 50 hours a week, but I felt like what I was doing didn't really actually matter, and it didn't matter to me. So I wanted to find something that I could go to work, and if I'm going to be spending most of my days working, I want to do something that I actually enjoy, but also something that I feel is meaningful, so that I can feel like I'm waking up with a purpose each day. And I think teaching fills that for me. I feel like there's a deep sense of purpose, and I can see in the reaction of the students that what I'm doing with them each day is meaningful to them, because I remember growing up, meaningful interactions that I had with my teachers and things that I still remember from when I was a little kid. And I'm 40 now, and I still remember things that my teacher said or did. So it basically comes down to purpose and meaning. I remember I enjoyed that period of my life growing up. I remember I enjoyed the carefree feeling, the feeling of being a kid and playing and laughing and joking around with your friends, when to me it represented a time in my life when things weren't so serious all the time, and I could just kind of be myself and have fun. And I think that those kids, their laughter and their fun and their enthusiasm and their naivety, it's contagious, and it kind of rubs off on you. And I just like working with that age kid. I think that they're more impressionable. So I think that you have a real chance to make an impact with kids before they've already grown up and ingrained certain habits or perspectives or viewpoints. So I think that it's an age group where you can really make a difference and be a positive influence to them. And I think they just appreciate it, and there's a lot of kids that don't have that positive influence at home, where they don't have that person paying attention to them at home, and I get to be that person for them, and then to see them grow into a more mature and responsible person, that they're still, kids, but sometimes they do things and it's like, oh, that's a little adult, and you can almost get a glimpse into what that person's going to be like in the future, and it's exciting because you see some of the things they say, and they'll surprise you and shock you with what they can actually retain and do if you give them the opportunity. When I first started teaching, I was trying to prove to myself that I was a good teacher. And I would design these lessons, and it was a big thing about project-based learning, and I try to develop these really cool, engaging project-based learning activities where, the students would, create something and do something that if somebody walked into my classroom, it would look good, and it would make me feel like I was being a good teacher. And then I would try to plan these lessons and try to make sure my lessons were perfect. And I'd show up to class and kids wouldn't be paying attention, And my second year of teaching, I had a kid come by, and she was talking to one of her friends that was in my class the next year. And she said, "Oh, Mr. Gillett, your class was so fun." And I thought she was going to start mentioning like the projects and the lessons we did. And she said, "Yeah, remember that time you were talking about Pop-Tarts?" And I was like, talking about Pop-Tarts? I do remember talking about Pop-Tarts, but I was kind of hoping you were going to say, like, remember that project we did or this lesson that you did. But to her, the memory that stood out was just having a completely human conversation about Pop-Tarts, and she connected with that and remembered it. And I realized, later on that a great teacher isn't the one that has the perfect lesson. A great teacher isn't the one that has all the answers. A great teacher isn't perfect in any way. A great teacher just puts students at the forefront. And so now as I've gotten older, I try to plan every lesson, not in terms of like, is this going to be a good lesson, but is this going to be good for the students? So always starting with the student in mind before I begin something. Like if it's a project, I want to think about like, are the students going to be engaged in this? Are they going to enjoy it? Is it going to be something that they can use? Are they going to be able to take ownership with their learning through this? Are they going to be able to show off what they've done with this project? So just planning with that student first mindset, I think, makes you a good teacher, because at the end of the day, teaching is all about the student. It's not about the teacher. And so I think a lot of teachers, they're there for the students. And if you're there for the students, then I think that's makes you a good teacher.